She counted the crumpled bills one more time. 5 singles and 2 ones, hoping somehow the math would change. It didn't. Sarah Bennett sat alone in the corner booth of Romano's, the fancy Italian restaurant where her blind date had abandoned her 20 minutes ago, and reality was setting in like ice water. The waiter was approaching again, his polite smile barely masking his impatience. She had a 7-year-old daughter waiting at home with a babysitter, who charged by the hour, a checking account that had seen better days, and exactly $7 to pay for the appetizer her date had ordered before vanishing to the restroom and never coming back. From his private corner table partially hidden by an ornate room divider, Marcus Chen watched the scene unfold with growing discomfort. The founder and CEO of Chen Technologies hadn't planned to witness anyone's humiliation tonight. He'd only stopped at Romano's to finalize a business deal over dinner, but his associate had cancelled at the last minute. Now, sitting alone with his tablet and a glass of wine, he couldn't help but notice the young woman who'd been checking her phone with increasing desperation while her date, a man in an expensive suit who'd spent the entire time talking loudly on his phone, had slipped out the side entrance 15 minutes ago. Marcus had built an empire worth billions by reading people, by understanding human behavior and motivation. He'd seen every type of person in business, the genuine, the fraudulent, the desperate, and the determined. But something about the woman's quiet dignity as she sat there, clearly calculating her next move, struck something deep in his chest. She wasn't crying. She wasn't making a scene. She was simply trying to figure out how to handle an impossible situation with grace. Sarah's phone buzzed. A text from her babysitter. "Everything okay? Emma keeps asking when you'll be home." Her daughter. Her beautiful, trusting 7-year-old, who'd been so excited that mommy was going on a real date for the first time since the divorce. Sarah had let her best friend convince her to try the blind date app, had spent money she didn't really have on a new blouse from the clearance rack, had allowed herself to hope that maybe, just maybe, life was turning around. The waiter arrived at her table. "Miss, can I get you anything else? Perhaps an entree?" Sarah's throat tightened. "Actually, I just need the check, please. Just for the calamari." The waiter's eyes flickered with understanding and pity. She hated the pity most of all. That appetizer was $23, miss. $23. She had 7. Sarah felt her face flush hot. There's been a misunderstanding. My date." She stopped. What was the point? "Could you give me just a moment?" As the waiter nodded and retreated, Sarah's mind raced. She could call her sister, but Rachel was 3 states away. Her best friend Jen was out of town. She could use her credit card, but it had been maxed out last month when Emma needed emergency dental work. She could wash dishes. Did restaurants still let people wash dishes? "Excuse me." A deep voice interrupted her spiraling thoughts. Sarah looked up to find a man standing beside her table, Asian American, early 30s, dressed in a simple but clearly expensive black sweater and jeans. His eyes were kind. "I'm sorry to intrude, but I couldn't help overhearing. Please, let me take care of your bill." "No." The word came out more sharply than Sarah intended. "I appreciate it, but I can't accept that. I don't even know you." Marcus Chen, a man who regularly wrote checks with more zeros than most people saw in a lifetime, found himself genuinely uncertain for the first time in years. "I understand, but I own a company that partners with several charities, and I've learned that accepting help isn't weakness, it's courage. And sometimes, paying it forward is how we keep hope alive in this world." Sarah's eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. "I have a daughter. She's 7. I work 2 jobs, and I'm putting myself through night school to get my nursing degree. I don't usually make stupid decisions like blind dates at expensive restaurants, but my friend convinced me that I deserved one nice evening. And now I'm about to either wash dishes or get arrested for dine and dash. And I just..." Her voice cracked. "I can't let my little girl see me fail again." Something in Marcus's chest constricted. He pulled out his wallet, extracted several bills, and placed them on the table. enough to cover her bill 3 times over. You're not failing. You're surviving. And from what I can see, you're doing it with more grace than most people could manage. He paused. I lost my mother when I was 8. She was a single mom too, working 3 jobs to keep us afloat. She taught me that the measure of a person isn't in how they handle success. It's in how they face adversity with dignity. Sarah stared at the money, then at this stranger who'd just seen her at her lowest moment and somehow made her feel less broken, instead of more. Why are you doing this? Because someone helped my mother once, when we were about to be evicted. A stranger paid 3 months of our rent, anonymously. She never knew who. But she told me that day that kindness isn't a debt, it's a ripple. We just have to keep it moving. Marcus smiled gently. Besides, that guy who left you here, he's an idiot. Anyone who can't see the strength it takes to be where you are, doing what you're doing, doesn't deserve 5 minutes of your time. The waiter returned, and Marcus handed him his own credit card. The lady's meal is on me. And please bring her the tiramisu to go. I have it on good authority that 7-year-olds love it. As the waiter retreated looking confused but pleased, Sarah finally let one tear fall. I don't know what to say. Say you'll finish your degree. Say you'll teach your daughter that setbacks aren't endings. And someday, when you're on your feet and you see someone struggling, say you'll be the ripple. Marcus handed her his business card. And if you're interested, Chen Technologies has a scholarship program for single parents, pursuing healthcare degrees. No strings attached, just an application process. We are always looking for people who understand what it means to fight for something. Sarah looked at the card, then at this stranger who'd restored something she'd thought was lost, her faith that good people still existed in the world. Marcus Chen, she read aloud. Thank you, Marcus. I'm Sarah. Sarah Bennett. It's nice to meet you. Sarah Bennett. Marcus extended his hand, and she shook it. Now go home to your daughter. Tell her your date was terrible, but something good happened anyway. Kids need to know that life works that way sometimes. 3 years later, Sarah Bennett graduated with her nursing degree, funded in part by the Chen Technology Scholarship. She never forgot the man who'd helped her in her darkest moment. And true to her word, she became a ripple, volunteering at free clinics, mentoring other single mothers, and teaching her daughter Emma that humanity's power lies not in wealth or status, but in the simple choice to see someone struggle and decide to lighten their load, even if just for one evening in a fancy Italian restaurant where broken hearts can still find unexpected grace.